About 17 years ago, about 18 years ago now, I guess, Rob Ogilvy at Grant County Bank called me and he said, I want you to sell the land for the Goldie Sullivan estate. Well, as it ended up, it was land scattered in 4 counties, part of it in Kansas, part of it in Colorado. Because it was scattered, I didn't know whether to try to hold 4 auctions or 2 auctions or 1 auction and hope everybody would come. I thought about a private treaty sale, trying to just set a price like you do on a home and put a for sale sign up. That creates no sense of urgency, and if you put a price on a piece of property and the first guy says, I'll take it, you always wonder, could I have gotten more? You know, and we typically work for the seller to get the highest possible price. On the other hand, if you price it really high, just to make sure that doesn't happen, you will see property set and not sell. And oftentimes we see signs that have been up for 6 months or a year. And that's not what we want to do. We want to create some excitement, some enthusiasm, a sense of urgency, and get all we can, but get it done. And anytime you say auction, that creates that sense of urgency. On the other hand, it is no fun to go to public auction and it be an isolated, not a high quality piece of property, and only a few people show up and you roll and roll and they sit on their hands and don't bid. So I went to bed that night and I thought, how can I do this? I always thought about issues and problems and with great faith that in the morning I'd wake up and I'd have an answer. Well, in the morning I thought, let's combine the advantages of a private treaty sale with the advantages of a public auction. Let's do an auction, but let's do it over the telephone. And I combined some of the control features of a private treaty sale with the advantages of a public auction. And I called it the private auction. We do not disclose the bidders during the auction. We do not share the bid sheet during the auction. After the auction's over and the contracts are signed, of course, we let people know who they're bidding against. With the private auction, we typically make the auction subject to owner confirmation. The opposite of subject to owner confirmation is going absolute, saying no matter what the high bid is, it's going to sell at that high bid to that high bidder. That does create some excitement, and on a really good property, that works really well. But it makes the seller very anxious, and the auctioneer. You know, what if it doesn't go as well as you anticipated? Sometimes people say, well, how do I know the owner's not bidding me up? Or how do I know the auctioneer's not bidding me up? Or there's some funny business going on. By making an auction subject to owner confirmation, there is no need for any funny business. Because it is subject to owner confirmation, we typically don't even talk to the seller about the bids until the auction's over. It works well. No matter where we are, we can check on the bids and place a bid, and it's real time, so that if I'm taking a bid in my office, Chris is seeing it on his computer at the same time, and he may be talking to another bidder. At the end of the auction, most of the time, we feel like we've gotten all the market will bear, and that is the market price, and the seller typically is excited and happy and says, hey, let's get a contract. But if we're not quite to the level we think we should be, we may have the high bidder may have been willing to pay more and just not had anybody bidding to push him up. And so we can negotiate and hopefully still put together a deal between that high bidder and the seller. I'm the guy that likes to visit the customers. I grew up here. I grew up in the irrigation business. I know a lot of these people. They're like family to me, and I'd rather be out in the field. But Chris likes to do the marketing and the work on the computer and be in the office, and so it works well. We make a good team.
Some of the things that I see in this business with traditional auctions, they've been pretty stagnant. You've seen online auctions come on, and online auctions are great. They make quick sales. It's very effortless, just like the private auction. You can bid from anywhere. The thing that it lacks, the number one thing it lacks, I feel, is personal connection, that personal salesmanship. You can't sell something with personality over the internet very easily. And so that's the biggest benefit I see of the private auction. There are a lot of very talented auctioneers out there that are very successful, and they'll continue to be successful, and they'll be able to sell people's land. But a lot of them don't go to the extra effort. And one thing I've always thought, that if your business is expanding and advancing, you need to not be complacent. You need to continue to grow. And I want our customers to see that we're progressive.